Hello fabulous artists! Welcome back to another video of Art with Ms. Nelson. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about and showing you how to do something called weaving. Weaving is when you use something like fibers or paper and move them in a pattern so that they stay together. And it's something that's also called woven, when they are woven together. So a lot of different cultures have used weaving, like every single one, and they've used them for a variety of reasons. Some of them use them to make clothes, and others use them to make baskets to hold foods or goods. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a basket. So this is what your basket is going to look like.
Let me tell you about the materials so we can go ahead and get started.
Materials you're going to need for this project are some sort of water bottle that is plastic that would normally go in your recycling bin. If you do not have a water bottle, a plastic cup would work too. Some sort of string or yarn. You can use one color or multiple colors, that's your choice. If you are someone who does not have yarn or string, you could also use some plastic bags or a garbage bag. I'm going to show you how you can use this when we get started. So let's go ahead and get set up and I will show you the steps. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to decide how tall you want your basket to be. Your basket could be short or it could be tall, that's up to you. I think I'm gonna kind of have a medium-sized basket. So I'm going to make a little mark right here, just so I know where I need to cut. So once you have that mark of how tall you want your basket to be, you're going to ask your grown-up to help you. And you're going to take your scissors and you're going to just cut. You might have to squish first to kind of open and get your scissor on the inside of the bottle. And you're just going to cut around in a circle. Most water bottles even have lines that go horizontal to help you. So our next step is we're going to make marks for where we're going to make some vertical cuts. It's important that you mark evenly around your bottle and that you make 9 marks. If you are someone who has a smaller bottle, you could make 7. If you have a bigger bottle, you can make 11. Now, what does 7, 9, and 11 all have in common? Yeah, they are odd numbers. You need to make sure you have an odd number when you do this. If you do an even number, you won't be able to do the pattern the right way. So I'm going to make my 9 marks. Now that I have my 9 marks on my cup, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut a vertical cut all the way down to the bottom of the bottle. So that my bottle looks like this. So now you need to decide if you're going to use yarn or a plastic bag. If you're using yarn, all you need to do is first find the end of your yarn. Ooh, this yarn is very messy. I'll use this yarn instead. And you're going to pull out about 4 feet. So that might be what's called your wingspan. So the length from your hand if you outstretch your arms to your other hand, and you're going to make a cut. From this, you're going to tie a knot, and I'm just holding the end in my hand, or my fingers rather. I'm holding the rest of the yarn in my hands, and I have like a loop here, so I'm going to twist this loop with my other hand, and then the end goes right through to make a knot like that. You might even want to make 2 knots, so you just repeat the same steps. Now for my friends using the plastic bag, what you're going to do is you're going to flatten it out, and you're going to find the very bottom of the bag. You're going to carefully cut the bottom off, so that your bag has a giant hole in the bottom. And what you're going to do is you're going to take it on the other side, and you're going to actually cut the part that has the handles off too. So that you're left with this giant like tube of bag. And so what you're going to do is you're going to open it up, because most bags kind of have sides to it, so that it's completely flat. And you might have to cut a little bit of these ends off. And you're going to start at one corner, and you're going to kind of cut in a little bit. And you want the thickness of your cuts to be about 2 fingers. And you're going to go around one side of the bag, like this. And when you get to an end, you're going to flip it over, and then continue on the other side. So you kind of have to, as you're cutting, kind of scoop over a tiny bit with each cut, so that you don't cut off your long string that you're making. So go ahead and do that for your entire bag for this step. Ta-da! I have my whole bag now cut to be basically a piece of fiber that I can use to weave. Now we are ready to actually start our weaving. So the easiest way to do this is if you take your cup and you flip it over and push all of the tabs out so it looks like an octopus. Like this. And you're going to take your yarn, I'll show you how to do the paper bag one in a moment, and you're going to hook it in between one of your tabs, and the knot should, for the most part, let it so it doesn't slip out. You might have to really gentle with it though. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to repeat this pattern. You're going to go over and under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Now when you make a full rotation, you will notice that to continue the pattern, you're going to do the opposite of what you just did. So that first one that we went under, you're now going to go over. and then under, over, under, over. And you're going to continue that until you don't have any yarn left. When you get to the end, like I just did, what you're going to do is you're going to pick up your basket. For the most part, it should kind of be a little bit easier to hold and work with than when we started. Then you're going to pick up the last loop that you did, push the tail through, and then put it on the inside. Now you can get another piece of yarn ready to go. Remember this one I did with my knot? And you're going to slide it in where you left off. You might need to hold it a little bit. And if you feel comfortable with the pattern, you don't have to flip it over and continue. You can keep it right side up and continue. So here's where I left off. And the last one I did is I went over. So I'm going to actually skip the one I would go under and start here. I'm going to hold down my string with the knot at the end on the inside, and then I'm going to continue my pattern. I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over, under. And if you're having a little bit of trouble, you can always flip it over and continue weaving like I showed you before. So when you're finished, or you kind of done as much weaving as you want to do, even if you didn't reach the top, that's okay. What you're going to do is you're going to take your tail of your yarn or string that you're using, and you're going to lift it up and just kind of carefully tuck it in and put it on the inside of your basket. Now these tabs, you can keep them if you want because they kind of look really cool. Or you can kind of carefully push your yarn up to kind of hide them if you have a lot of them left over. Or you could cut them. You just kind of have to be really careful with this basket because they could easily fall off. But as long as you put it in a special place, it will not, unravel on its own. So that's how you would make a woven basket using the yarn. Let me show you how to make it using the plastic bag. So for the plastic bag method, it is still the same to start. You're going to take an end of your plastic bag and you're going to make a knot at the end. So you're going to pinch, pinch, pinch the side that has the end. Hold the rest in your hands so that there's a loop. Take your other hand, pinch the loop, twist so that your thumb goes through, and your other finger, you're going to pull the side that ends through. So I'm just going to make another knot. I think I might make one more just to be safe. And you're going to decide where you're going to start. Slide that through. It might be easier to do this first. Then you're going to flip it over so all the tabs stick out like an octopus. You might even, when you do this, want to recount your tabs to make sure that they're all out. And so now we're going to follow that same pattern that we did with the yarn. You're going to go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and repeat. Knowing that when you do a full circle, what you're going to do to continue your over under pattern is going to be opposite of the first time. So you're going to go under the tab you originally went over. But as long as you follow the pattern over, under, it will all work out. So when you are finished, you're just going to flip it over. If you have extra like I do, you're going to cut. Use it, leaving kind of a long tail. Then you're going to tuck it under one of your weavings and so that it hangs in on the inside. And then if you wanted to, you can kind of spread yours out, pushing up or pushing down, so that it's even. And this is what it looks like at the end. If you have any of these weird hanging things like I do, you can also tuck those on the inside too. Alright, my fabulous artists, well, I hope you had fun with that project, making these super cool woven baskets using an old water bottle, a plastic bag, or some yarn or string. And if you would like to share yours with me, go ahead and email me right here, and I will be sure to put it in next week's video. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye!